This is the Edexcel Paper 1 Non-Calculator Higher Tier from May 2024. Question 1. Here are the first 4 terms of an arithmetic sequence. Find an expression in terms of n for the nth term of this sequence. So arithmetic sequence, it goes up by the same amount every time. This one's going up by 4 each time. So it's like the 4 times table. The 4 times table is 4n. 4 times 1, 4 times 2, 4 times 3, and 4 times 4. What do we have to do to the 4 times table to get the sequence we've been given? We take away 3 each time. So it's the 4 times table, take away 3. Question 2, work out 3 and 4/5, take away 1 and 2/3. I'm going to make them top heavy first. So 3 wholes. How many fifths is that? That's 15 fifths. 3 5s are 15. So I've got 15 fifths and 4/5. 15 plus 4 is 19. So that's 19 fifths. 3 and 4/5 is the same as 19 fifths. I've got 1 and 2/3. How many thirds is that? So 1 times 3 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. So that's 5 thirds. To add or take away fractions, we need the bottom numbers, the denominators, to be the same. I'm just going to times them by each other. So I'm going to times my right fraction, top and bottom, by 5. And my left fraction, top and bottom, times by 3. That's going to make the denominators the same. They will both be 15. 3 19s are 57. 5 5s are 25. So I've got 57 15ths, take away 25 15ths. That's going to be 32 15ths. We weren't asked to give our answer in a certain form, so I could give that as my answer, but I'm going to convert it back to a mixed number. I've got 32 15ths, 15 30, I've got 2 wholes, and I'm at 30, so I've got 2 left over. 2 whole ones and 2 15ths. Kevin was asked to work out 2 and 1/3 times 5/8. Here is his working and his answer. 2 1/3 times 5/8 is the same as 7 thirds, that's true, times 5/8. 7 times 5 is 35, 3 times 8 is 24, and he's converted that into 1 whole one and 9 over 24. So 35 over 24. 1 whole one is 24. How many more have we got? From 24 to 35, it's 11. So what mistake has Kevin made? 35 over 24 does not equal 1 and 9 over 24. Question 3. The diagram shows a plan of a floor. And Petra is going to cover the floor with paint. We need to work out the area of this floor. So we're going to split it into 2 rectangles. We can either split it this way or this way. It doesn't matter which one we choose. So 10 times 5 is 50, 50 meters squared. 8 take away 5 is 3. 3 6s are 18. So the total area is 50 plus 18. That's 68 meters squared. So that's the area of the floor. Petra has 3 tins of paint with 2.5 litres in each tin. So how much paint? 3 2.5s. We have 7.5 litres of paint. Petra thinks 1 litre will cover 10 meters squared. So 7.5 times 10 it should cover 75 meters squared. So assuming Petra is correct, does she have enough paint? Yes. So we've got enough paint for 75 meters squared. We only need to cover 68 meters squared. So yes, Petra is correct. Actually, 1 litre of paint will cover 11 meters squared. Does this affect your answer to part A? You must give a reason for your answer. So we only need to cover 68 meters squared. 7.5 times 11 will be even bigger than 7.5 times 10. So it'll still be bigger than 68. So the paint will cover a larger area. Therefore, it will still be enough to cover the floor. So no, it doesn't affect our answer. We have enough paint. Question 4. Here is a Venn diagram. Write down the numbers that are in the set, not P. So whenever we see this little prime next to our letter, it means not. So what numbers are not in P? That's the question. So we just write down the ones that are not in P. We've got 10, 11, 13, 14, 16, and 17. A number is chosen at random from the universal set, so everything from our Venn diagram. Write down the probability that this number is in the set, the union of P and Q. So the union of P and Q is everything in P and or in Q. So if it's the intersection, which looks like this, that just means the middle bit. But the union is everything in P and in Q. So what's the probability it's in there? There are 9 numbers in total. There are 5 inside, so the chance of getting something inside is 5/9. Question 5. Sophie drives a distance of 513 kilometers on a motorway in France. She pays a total of 0.81 euros for every 10 kilometers she drives. Work out an estimate for the total amount that Sophie pays. So it's an estimate. That means we're not going to use the exact numbers. We won't get the marks unless we round them. So we need to make it simpler. So I'm going to change 513 into 500 and 0.81 into 0.8. So we're going 500 kilometers and paying 0.8 euros for every 10 kilometers. So 500 over 10 is 50. So we're going 50 lots of 10 kilometers. So for each of those 50, we're paying 0.8. So 50 times 0.8, that's the same as 5 times 8. It's 40 euros. Is your answer an underestimate or an overestimate? So what did we do to the numbers? We rounded them down. So we've done a shorter distance and less money for each 10 kilometers. So our answer is actually going to be lower than it should be. The actual answer will be higher. 51.3 times 0.81 will be bigger than 50 times 0.8. So we have underestimated. It's an underestimate because we rounded the distance and cost down. Question 6. Here is a straight line, L, drawn on a grid. Find an equation for L. The equation of a straight line is in the form y equals mx plus c, where m is the gradient and c is the y-intercept, where it crosses the y-axis. So the y-intercept is 3. It crosses the y-axis at 3. The gradient is for every 1 it goes across, how much does it go up or down? So if we go across 1, we go up 1.5. Across 1, up 1.5. So the gradient is 1.5. So the equation of our line is y equals 1.5x plus 3. M is a different straight line with equation y equals 5x. Write down the equation of a straight line parallel to M. So if it's parallel, if two lines are parallel, they've got the same gradient. So they've got the same steepness. So we can write down any straight line with a gradient of 5, y equals 5x plus 5, or y equals 5x plus 3, or y equals 5x minus 100. Question 7. Kasim has some small jars, some medium jars, and some large jars. He has a total of 400 jars. 3/8 of them are empty. And then we've got 4 the empty jars. So we need to know how many empty jars there are. It's 3/8 of 400. So let's get 1/8 of 400. So we're splitting 400 into 8 parts. 400 divided by 8 is 50. So that's 1/8. 3/8 are 3/50s. That's 150. So we have 150 empty jars. For the empty jars, the number of small jars to medium jars, small to medium, is in the ratio 3:4. Medium to large is the ratio 1:2. So we need to know how many are small, how many are medium, and how many are large. So we need to put these two ratios together, make it into one thing. And to do that, because they've got medium in both, we need to make medium the same. So if I times my medium to large ratio by 4, I'll get 4 to 8. So now the medium number is the same for both. I can write the ratio of small to medium to large, which is 3:4 to 8. So for every 3 small jars, we've got 4 medium jars and 8 large jars. We need to share 150 in this ratio. So 3, 4, and 8 is 15 parts. We're sharing 150 between those 15 parts. 150 over 15 is 10. So each part is worth 10. We've got 30 small, 40 medium, and 80 large. So the question is saying work out the percentage of Kasim's jars that are empty small jars. So it's 30 out of 400. So 30 out of 400. We want to write it as a percentage. So percent is out of 100. Half the top, half the bottom. Half the top, half the bottom again. 7.5 out of 100 is 7.5%. Per 100%. Question 8. Len has 8 parcels. The mean weight of the 8 parcels is 2.5 kilograms. The mean weight of 3 of the parcels is 2 kilograms. Work out the mean weight of the other 5 parcels. So the mean is where we add them all up, so the total divided by how many. So if we want to go back to the total, we do the mean times how many. The mean times how many things there are equals the total. So we're going to do 8 times 2.5, which is 20. So that's the total weight of the 8 parcels. The mean weight of 3 of the parcels is 2 kilograms. So 3 times 2 is 6. So 6 kilograms is 3 of the parcels. So the other 5 weigh 20 take away 6, which is 14 kilograms. So that's what 5 of them weigh. We need to know the mean weight of those 5. So the total divided by 5, and that's the same as 28 over 10, which is 2.8 kilograms. Question 9. In a sale, the normal price of a coat is reduced by R%. Given that the sale price is equal to 0.7 times the normal price, find the value of R. So we've multiplied something by 0.7. What is the percentage reduction we've done? So 0.7 is the same as 70%. So they're saying the sale price is equal to 70% of the normal price. So if the sale price is 70% of the normal price, how much does it come down? So it's come from 100% to 70%. It's a 30% reduction. So if we've got 70% left, we must have taken off 30%. Question 10, solve the simultaneous equations. So we need to make something the same. If we're going to eliminate one of them, I'm going to make the x's the same. I'm going to times the whole top equation by 2, the whole bottom equation by 5. So we have 10x minus 4y equals 46, and 10x minus 15y equals 18 times 5, 90. I'm going to eliminate the x's now by taking one equation away from the other equation. So if I'm going to do the top equation, take away the bottom equation. 10x's, take away 10x's is nothing. That's why we're doing it. Negative 4y, take away negative 15y. So that's negative 4, take away negative 15. If we take away a negative, we actually add. It's negative 4 plus 15, which is the same as 15 take away 4. It's 11. It's 11 y's. And 46 take away 90, it's going to be negative 44. So y is negative 44 divided by 11, negative 4. And I'm going to substitute that back in to my top equation to find x. So 5x's, take away 2 times negative 4 is equal to 23. Go back on. 5x's, so negative 2 times negative 4, a negative times a negative is positive. So I've got 5x plus 8 equals 23. Take 8 away from both sides. 5x's are 15. X must be 3. So we've got 3 and negative 4. We can check our answer by substituting back in. So 3 and negative 4. 2 3's are 6. Take away 3 negative 4's. 6. If we take away a negative, we add. Negative 3 times negative 4 is plus 12. 6 plus 12 is 18. We know it's correct. Question 11. We've got triangle A. It's translated by the vector 6, -4 to give triangle B. So translated means moved, and this vector, the top one, is left and right. So that means 6 to the right. The bottom one is up and down. Because it's negative, it's down. So it's 4 down. So triangle A is moved 6 right, 4 down to give triangle B. So we're going to move it, pick a corner, and move it 6 right, 4 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that corner has been moved. So this is triangle B. So pick a different corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that looks good. Triangle B is rotated 90 degrees clockwise about the point 1, 2 to give triangle C. So we've got the point 1, 2, 1, 2, and we're rotating our triangle B 90 degrees clockwise from there. It's useful to use tracing paper for this. So you can put a piece of tracing paper down, draw over your triangle B, and you can put a little arrow facing up, and then hold your paper on the dot right here and just twist it until the arrow faces this way, and you'll see where the new shape is. I don't have tracing paper, so I'm just going to try and rotate it without it. So at the moment, I'm going 2 across, 1, 2, 3, 4 down. If I twist that round, I'm going to be going 2 down and 4 across. So that corner will be there. If I've got 3 across, 2 down, that's going to become 3, 2. And if I've got 3, 4, that's going to be 3, 4. So this is triangle C. There is C. And describe fully the single transformation that could take A onto C. So how do we get from A to C in one transformation? It is going to be a rotation, and we just need to figure out where the center of the rotation is. So I think here we go 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and 2, 3, 2, 3. Again, use the tracing paper. Use the tracing paper, but it's at -4, 1, and it is rotated 90 degrees clockwise. So rotation 90 degrees clockwise, and it's a center at -4, 1. So we need 3 bits of information. We need to tell them it's a rotation. When we're describing a transformation, it's either a translation, an enlargement, a rotation, or a reflection. We've got to use one of those words, and then we give the information to describe it. So translation, we tell them how far it's moved. An enlargement, the scale factor and the center of enlargement. A reflection, the line of reflection, and for rotation, the center of rotation and how far it's been rotated. Question 12, here are some graphs. So without looking at the question, we are going to be asked to match these graphs to equations. So we've got a -x² graph. We've got a positive reciprocal graph. We've got a positive cubic, but a complicated cubic. So in the form x - 2 times x + 2 times x. We've got a straight line, a positive straight line, so y = mx + c. We've got the x³ graph. We've got the -x³ graph. We've got a negative straight line that has a y-intercept of 0. We've got a positive x squared graph, and we've got a negative reciprocal graph. So x squared minus 4, that's our h, that's our positive x squared graph. The negative x cubed was f, and the negative reciprocal was j. Question 13, the table gives information about the amount of time that each of 150 people were in a shop. On the grid, draw a histogram for this information. So when we have a histogram, we don't put the frequency up the side, we put the frequency density. And the reason is because our bars aren't going to be of equal width. So the first bar is 10 wide. Our second bar is from 10 to 30, so it's 20 wide. Our third one is 5 wide. Then we've got a 15 and a 10. So in a histogram, it's the area of the bar. The area of the bar is the frequency. So our first bar is 10 wide. It goes from 0 to 10. It's got to have an area of 20. So what's its height? What's its frequency density? So 10 times something makes 20. It's 2. It's got to be 2 tall to have an area of 20. So it's got a frequency density of 2. The second one, 20 times something is 70. That's 3.5. 5 times something is 22. Let's think of this the other way. So frequency density is frequency divided by the width. So 22 over 5 is the same as 44 over 10, 4.4. 30 over 15 is 2, and 8 over 10 is 0.8. So we just need to draw on the scale. So the frequency density goes up to, the highest is 4.4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then along the bottom, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. It's not labeled, we should label it. It's time in minutes. So let's just draw on the bars. Our first one has a width of 10, goes 0 to 10, height of 2. Our second bar, 10 to 30, has a height of 3.5. Then 30 to 35, height of 4.4. That isn't in the right place. 30 to 35 has a height of 4.4. And 35 to 50 has a height of 2. 35 to 50, height of 2. And 50 to 60, height of 0.8. So there is our histogram. Work out an estimate for the fraction of these 150 people who were in the shop between 20 and 40 minutes. So between 20 and 40 minutes. So between here and here. So 20 to 30 is 10 wide. It's 3.5 tall. 10 times 3.5 is 35. 5 times 4.4. 5 times 4.4 is 22. We know the frequency for this one, 22. And 5 times 2 is 10. So 35, 22, and 10 is 67 people. What fraction? 67 over 150. Question 14, an expand and simplify. So we've got triple brackets. We're going to expand the first two and leave the last one for now. So 3x times 2x, 6x squared. 3x times 3 is 9x. Negative 1 times 2x is negative 2x. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. Just going to leave the last one on the end there. I am going to simplify, so 9x take away 2x is 7x. So now I'm going to expand these two brackets. So every term in the first bracket has to be multiplied by both the terms in the second bracket. So 6x squared times x, 6x cubed. 6x squared times negative 5 is negative 30x squared. 7x times x, 7x squared. 7x times negative 5, negative 35x. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. And negative 3 times negative 5 is a positive 15. Try and keep your work within the page. And we just need to simplify now. So we've got 6x cubed minus 23x squared minus 38x plus 15. So we can only add the things that are the same. So we can add these two terms together and these two terms together. We can't add x cubes to x squareds or x's to x cubes or anything like that. So that's our answer. 6x cubed minus 23x squared minus 38x plus 15. Question 15. OAB is a sector of a circle, center O, radius 6. The length of the arc, which is this length here, is 5 pi. Work out, in terms of pi, the area of the sector. So an arc length is part of a circumference, and a circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. 2 times pi times the radius. We have some fraction of that, so we need to know what this angle is. I'm going to call it theta for now. So what fraction of the whole circle do we have? We've got theta degrees out of 360. So some fraction, theta is like an unknown. We could just use x. I'll use x. So let's change that to x. So some fraction of the circle, whatever our angle is, over 360 of the whole circumference, 2 times pi times r, which is 6, is equal to 5 pi. So a fraction of the whole circumference is 5 pi. We can find out what this angle is now. So let's simplify this as much as we can. 2 6's are 12. I'll have x over 360 times 12 pi equals 5 pi. And 12 pi is the same as 12 pi over 1. If we multiply fractions, we multiply the top, multiply the bottom. So we've got 12 pi times x over 360 equals 5 pi. I can divide both sides by pi now. just cross off the pi. 12 over 360, I can simplify. Divide top and bottom by 12. So 36 divided by 12 is 3. So 360 divided by 12 is 30. So now I've just got x divided by 30 is 5, times both sides by 30. X is 150 degrees. So this is 150 degrees. The question says, work out the area of a sector. So the area of a sector, it's a fraction of the area of a circle. This time we know what fraction we've got. 150 360ths of means times the area of the whole circle, which is pi, times the radius squared. So we just need to simplify this. 6 squared is 36. I'm going to write 15. I'm going to change 150 over 360 into 15 over 36. And it's that times 36 pi. And the 36's cancel out. We're just left with 15 pi. Question 16. There are only n orange sweets and 1 white sweet in a bag. Sarah takes at random a sweet from the bag and eats the sweet. She then takes at random another sweet from the bag and eats this sweet. So the probability Sarah eats 2 orange sweets is n minus 1 times n plus 1. So there's n orange and 1 white. So there's n plus 1 sweets in total. So the chance of getting orange, then orange. So the first one, for the first sweet to be orange, we've got n orange sweets out of n plus 1. So we've taken that orange sweet out. Now we're going to pick another one. So how many orange sweets are left? We've got n minus 1, one less than what we started with. How many sweets are there in total that are left? We had n plus 1, we've taken 1 out. N plus 1 take away 1 is n. So the chance of getting an orange, then an orange again, is n over n plus 1 times n minus 1 over n. So it's n times n minus 1 over n times n plus 1. Divide top and bottom by n. N minus 1 times n plus 1. Question 17. Rationalize the denominator. So we've got a square root on our denominator. That's an irrational number. So to rationalize it, we need to get rid of the square root from the bottom. To do that, we have to multiply the top and bottom by the same thing. And if we multiply top and bottom by square root 7, square root of 7 times square root of 7 is just 7. So 1 times square root 7 is square root 7. Root 7 times root 7 is 7. And we now have a rational denominator. So it's root 7 over 7. Part B, simplify fully. Square root 80, take away square root 5. When we have square roots, we can split them up. So square root 80 is the same as square root 5 times square root 16. 5 times 16 is 80. So square root 16 times square root 5 is square root 80. And square root 16 is 4. The square root of 16 is 4. So root 5 times 4 is the same as, well, 4 root 5s. So if we've got 4 square root 5s, take away 1 square root 5, we get 3 square root 5s. Question 18, show that 0.15 151515 plus 0.2 2727272727 can be written in the form m over 66, where m is an integer. So we need to convert these recurring decimals into fractions. So 0.15 recurring, let's call that x. We want something else that ends in the 15151515. So I need to times it by 100 to get 15.151515. So now I've got two things ending in 151515. I can take them away and get rid of my recurring bit. 100 x's take away 1x is 99 x's. 15.151515 take away 0.151515 is just 15. So divide both sides by 99. X is 15 over 99. They're both in the 3 times table. 5 over 33. The same for 0.227. I want two things that end in the 272727. I'm going to have to times it by 10 to get one thing that ends in the 272727, and times that by 100, so 1,000 wise, times the original by 1,000 to get 227.272727. 1,000 take away 10 is 990. 227 point something take away 2 point something is 225. So we've got 225 over 990. What times table were they both in? Well, probably lots. The 9 times table, should we go to that? How many 9s make 225? So we've got 90 is 10, 180 is 20, 45 more, which is 5, so 25 9s, and 110 9s. They're both in the 5 times table. So we've got 5 over 22. So now we need to add them together. 5 over 33 plus 5 over 22. We need to make the denominators the same. Let's times top and bottom by 3 for the 22. Double top and bottom, and they'll both be 66. That's what we wanted. So we've got 10 66s, 10 over 66, plus 15 over 66. That's 25 over 66. Question 19. ABC and DAB are similar isosceles triangles. So ABC, the little triangle, and DAB, the big triangle, are both similar. One is an enlargement of the other. A to B equals A to C. So that is 2 lengths of the small isosceles triangle. And AD, this one, and BD, they are the same. They are 2 lengths of the big isosceles triangle. B to C to D is 4 to 21. So the whole length is 25. So the whole of the other equal side is also 25. Find the ratio AB to AD. So AB is part of both of our triangles. It's a large side on our small triangle and the small length on our big triangle. So our x, our A to B, divided by 4 so the big length over the small length on the small triangle must be the same as the big length divided by the small length on the big triangle. So we have an equation now, times both sides by x, times both sides by 4, x squared is 100, x must be 10. So if x is 10, the ratio of AB to AD is 10 to 25, or simplified 2 to 5. Question 20, we've got some powers of 2. Given that x plus y is 8, find the value of n. So let's convert all of these into just regular powers of 2. So 2 to the power of x is equal to 2 to the power of n divided by, so the cube root of 2, which is 2 to the power of 1/3. A cube root is the power of a third. So 2 to the power of x is 2 to the power of, when we divide indices, we take away the powers, n minus a third. Because they're both powers of 2, we can say x is n minus a third. For the y, we've got 2 to the power of y is square root 2 to the power of 5. A square root is a power of 1/2, so that is 2 to the power of half to the power of 5, 5/2. So y is 5/2. X plus y is equal to 8. X plus y is 8. So what is n? We can change x into n minus a third. We can change y into 5/2. So what is n? We are going to take away 2.5 from 8. So n minus a third is 8, take away 2.5, which is 5.5. And then we're going to plus a third. 5.5 plus a third. I'm going to change it back to fractions. So I'm going to change 5.5 to 11/2. I could do it as decimals. 5.5 plus 0.3 recurring is going to be 5.83 recurring. But I prefer to have a fraction answer. So I've got 11/2 plus a third. So times 3 times 2, 33/6 plus 2/6 is 35/6. So 35/6 is my answer. Question 21. A solid cuboid has a volume of 300 centimeters cubed. We've got a surface area of 370 centimeters squared. The length is 20. The width is greater than the height. Work out the height of the cuboid. So we're going to have to write down some formulas. So we've got a cuboid, which looks something like this. We've got a length of 20. And then we've got a width and a height. So let's call this one the width and call this one the height. So the volume is 300. So 20 times HW. 20 HW is 300. The surface area is 370. So we've got the total surface area is we've got two 20 times H's. So 40 H. Two 20 times W's. 40 W. And two HW's is 370. and we need to work out the height of the cuboid. So let's make this into one equation somehow. We want to get rid of one of these letters. I'm going to take my 20HW, this formula. I'm going to divide both sides by 20. That would make it easier. So H times W is 300 over 20, which is 30 over 2, which is 15. So H times W is 15, and I'm going to get rid of one of them. It doesn't matter which one. W equals 15 divided by H. So I can now substitute 15 over H into this second formula. So 40 H's plus 40 times 15 over H plus 2H times 15 over H is 370. Simplify this. So 40H, 40 times 15 is 600 over H. H over H cancels out. So 2 15s are 30, and that equals 370. This is going to be a quadratic. If I multiply every term by H, I'm going to get 40H squareds plus 600 plus 30H equals 370H. I want to make it equal to 0 so I can solve it. So take away 370H from both sides. It's going to be negative or minus 340H plus 600 equals 0. Simplify it as much as we can. And I'm going to half them all. So 2H squared minus 17H plus 30 equals 0. I want to factorize this now. It's a non-calculator paper. So I am going to, I'll do A times C. 2 30s are 60. What multiplies to make 60? A lot of things. So 1 times 60, 2 30s, 3 20s, 4 15s, 5 12s, 6 10s. It's not in the 7 times table or the 8 times table or the 9 times table. So these are all of our options, which add up to make 17. There are 2 options that make 17. So which add to make a negative 17 and multiply to give a positive 60. It's going to have to be a minus and a minus. So 5 and 12. So 2H squared minus 5H minus 12H plus 30 equals 0. So what can come out of the first two? 2H squared and negative 5H, just H. H times something is 2H squared, that's 2H. H times something is negative 5H, that's negative 5. Something times 2H is negative 12H, that's negative 6. And negative 6 times negative 5 is 30. So the height could be 6, and it could be 2.5. The width is greater than the height, so the width must be the longer one, must be the 6. So the height must be the 2.5. Question 22. Sketch the graph of y equals sine x for 0 to 360. So the sine graph goes between 1 and negative 1. It starts at 0, it goes up to 91, back down to 180, 0, 270, negative 1, and back up to 360. So something like that. Maybe shift that one up a little bit. And that's our sine graph. Solve the equation. 2 sine x equals -1. So if I half both sides, it's where sine x is minus a half. So sine x is minus a half, roughly here and here. And so we need to know that sine 30 is equal to a half. So we kind of use the symmetry of the graph. So that's a half, that's 30 and 150. So using the symmetry of the graph, we say it's 30 bigger than 180 and 30 less than 360. So it's going to be at 210 and 330. Question 23. Is it the last question? It's the last question. Circle C is a circle with center at the origin. I'm going to sketch this. I'm going to get a circle. So I've got a circle with its center at the origin. The circle C, now L is a straight line. C and L intersect at P and Q. The coordinates of P are 5, 10. So that's somewhere over here. The x coordinate of Q is -2. L has a positive gradient, so it can't be there, it must be down there. And crosses the y-axis at 0k. Find the value of k. So we have our straight line like this. We've got 5, 10 and -2 something. And we need to know where it crosses the y-axis. So the equation of a circle is x squared plus y squared equals the radius squared when the circle's center is at the origin. And we can work out what the equation is using the point 5, 10. So 5 squared plus 10 squared equals radius squared. 25 plus 100, 125 equals radius squared. So the equation of the circle is x squared plus y squared equals 125. Now we can find out what this x is down here. -2x. So -2 squared plus something squared, maybe I shouldn't have used x, is 125. -2 squared is 4. Take away 4 from both sides. And x is plus or minus 11. The square root of 121 is plus or minus 11. But we know it needs to be down here. So it must be -11. So that coordinate is -2, -11. So we've got two sets of coordinates. We can work out the equation of the line that goes through them. We could work out the gradient, x1, y1, x2, y2. So the gradient is the change in the y's divided by the change in the x's. So that's -11 take away 10 over -2 take away 5. Could have done that the other way around. -21 over -7, that's 3. It's got a gradient of 3. So it's y equals 3x plus c. C is what we're working out. We just need to substitute in the 5, 10 for x and y. So 10 equals 3 5s plus c. 10 equals 15 plus c. C is negative 5. So our answer is negative 5. It crosses at negative 5. It's got a gradient of, 3. So along 1 up 3, so negative 1, negative 8. Along 1 up 3, 0, 5. Along 1 up 3, 1, negative 2. 2, 1. 3, 4. 4, 7. 5, 10.